Good afternoon, Free Enterprise fans. Welcome into the fourth VOD review for the Omnidextrous Memers Guild. I am Y2 Sky, and the distinguished commenter to my left is Professor Render. Professor, welcome in.
Hello, everyone. I am looking forward to this VOD review. This is the last VOD review that we are going to be doing before we head into the main bracket.
Yeah, we have our field set. But it was definitely an exciting run to get here, especially with the last two asyncs. And while I'm not going to speak too much in advance of this, and we're just going to watch this play out, I can tell you that this is going to be an exciting one. You're going to see four very good runs here today from Ariane, Soapbox Gamer, Lord Goober, and Naricod. And Async 8, all I can say is qualifiers ended with a bang.
I can imagine that. I never got a chance to do the second half, so I'm going into this blind. Although I do see a Porum as the lead here. That it is, of course, a flip between Porum and Rosa as the starting character in the hero slot. But of course, we don't have to see a hero. But I'm just saying it because it is the hero slot. I'm being technical here.
Gotcha. Yeah, so a Porum start, the flag set allows us to start with either Porum or Rosa. It kind of guarantees us a white mage. So that's all well and good. It does, Porum versus Rosa does fundamentally change what you're going to kind of seek to do in your early game and some of the nuances of your routing. So Porum gets exit fairly early, whereas Rosa will not receive exit until you do the Tower of Zot. So there's been several seeds where that plays that has a heavy influence in your routing. A lot of times with the restricted character set, so Fusoya, Cecil, and Yang are all three restricted, and Tella is just banned from the flag set entirely. So with that small of a character party that we have, a lot of times you also encounter your other white mage early on in the seed. So that also leads to interesting decisions. Porum doesn't quite have the strength stats out of the gate to wield all the fun omnidextrous gear that Rosa does, but again, Porum getting exit early plays very heavily into routing decisions. So, got an early exit. We'll see if that influences what our runners end up doing to start with.
So I guess we're ready to go here. Everyone's all the videos are all playing now. We're gonna see we have our other. Well, you just said it. The other white mage comes up pretty early, and there's our other white mage.
Yeah, it's normally you'd kind of, oh gosh, two white mages. This is going to be kind of a difficult party to deal with. Omnidextrous kind of relieves some of that early game party tension a little bit. Rosa's got very good stats. If we find some good gear in the treasure chest, Rosa's got some pretty good stats to kind of get off the ground and kind of be your main damage dealer early, while Porum can kind of sit and develop as your support character. So this is definitely not a bad start at all.
Yeah, I've always whenever I saw Rosa as my hero, I do know that I had a bit of sense of relief because I have a decent character on standby. So we are seeing three of the more common routes that I had seen and messed around with in my time playing it. Two of them on the left side of your screen, heading towards Eblin. Soapbox Gamer going for the Bedward check, and Naricod going for the early Domstian check.
Yeah, with T-Pro on, Evelyn is definitely a good spot to loot, particularly because Vanilla Traps is on. So you know where the trap chests are. You're not going to spend that extra time kind of working your way around randomized trap chests. You can just go straight for the better loot. And there's a heroine robe in middle section left side that Arian's picked up. Soapbox Gamer also got the spoon from Bedward, so very, very good gear to start out with. We're not going to really have a lot of problems in the early game with Spoon and Heroin Robe.
Oh, definitely. The Spoon being early on, that's already, you already have a good attacking weapon, so you can throw that onto your Rosa and she'll do damage right from the starting blocks.
All right, we see Neracat checking some item shops and finding exits. So this is a play we've seen runners make in these asyncs where you're looking to buy some exits from the item shops in your early game. So that lets you do some earlier plays like Antlion, or if you happen to find the harp super early, you don't have to wait for Porm to get exit or Rosa to go through Zot. You have exits, and then you can just route away and not have to worry about character development.
Right, and this is and one thing I've always liked about Omnidextrous is just the freedom to do whatever combination of weapons and armor that you want, because the restrictions on what weapon or armor gets lifted, as well as having the ability to dual wield them.
All right, Goober taking the Mad Ogre chest right away. This is a pretty common play if you find a Heroin Robe in Eblin, as well as some damage dealing ability like Silent Staff or Mute Knife. Is put the Heroin Robe on the character and just go for it, because Heroin Robe provides a fair amount of evasion, and you'll dodge most of the Mad Ogre attacks that way.
So Soapbox Gamer found a duplicate character, and so we never got any. There wasn't really a good nothing of value on that play in Mount Hobbs. So we're moving on here.
Yeah, if you see a runner finish the Hobbs fight in that situation where there's a duplicate character, you're looking for XP at that point, which both Porm and Rosa starting at level 10 mages, yeah, you do kind of need the easier XP infusions to get you those first few levels, a lot of times to get you through trap chests or through the hook route. So it's not a bad play at all.
Right. Arian's going to go for the Flame Dog early on. Not a bad choice with the Heroin Robe being early on.
Just picks up an Artemis bow. That's unless you're kind of hurting for agility items. Artemis bows pretty much just sell for cash in this flag set.
Yeah, having an Artemis bow without the Omnidextrous flag enabled is generally the best, but with Omnidextrous on, there are way better weapons that you can pick up in that situation.
Oh, DKC giving Neracat a little bit of trouble here. That Baron 1 spot's very fast, and yeah, there's not a lot of power, but if your characters are not leveled, yeah, DKC's still gonna get you.
I do like the attempts, though. It's at least confirmation that we can get through this. We just need XP to do it, and HP to do it, rather.
Yeah, Neracat's going into Eblon now. Likely, going up the middle tower and going to find that Heroin Robe. So that'll be enough agility to get you past that spot and get a swing off before DKC starts dark waving.
We do find a key item over on Lord Goober's side in the Staleman chest. It's just a Sand Ruby. So, really, you could get a character out of this, but from my time playing it, I never really used the Sand Ruby. It's just a key item to add to the key item count.
Yeah, this early, I like going and checking the character to see if you get it. Plus, if you need a refill after Eblon Cave, that's pretty convenient. Taking on the DKC in Baron is a good play right now, too, because Sid is one of the better characters in this flag set. Sid's starting strength is very good, and then Heron robes solve any agility problems.
Do you have a Bigan on the second half of the Baron Inn?
Yeah, that's a little rough. Arian, not quite. Maybe slow anchored. That's probably the problem. The Baron spots Baron 2 has pretty low agility, and that's a your heroine robe sporting character should be probably in the center slot there. That'll fix your agility issue, and you can probably chop off one of the arms and get Bigan halfway down before he even takes a shot.
With that in mind, Arian, with the failed attempt here, Arian is going to go ahead and take on the Fabul Gauntlet, or at least what is on the Fabul Gauntlet spot. Meanwhile, Lord Goober heading into Troya Castle, and gonna go ahead and find that spoon on Bedward.
Yeah, so we see the hook lit up on Lord Goober's side. So the hook was in Eblon Castle. So if you can get through the Eblon traps, you are set to go underground.
So the play that Lord Goober made to go for the traps early on was, in a sense, valuable, because that not only do you get the XP for that, but you also can you also have 2 key items out of that. That was worth it. The early choice to do the bad ogres help gain that XP to help get the amount of XP necessary to take out the remaining traps.
Yeah, it's definitely a balancing act. Sometimes taking on the trap chest right away works out, and sometimes it doesn't. If you've got the power to do it, and you're able to get, if you're able to take out the stale man in 1 or 2 swings, you're usually okay. A lot of times, watching for undead resist gear helps a lot with that too. So if you pick up a wizard hat, there's a couple other pieces or some crystal gear with undead resistance, so the skulls don't take down your HP. Other than that, usually there's not a lot of problem. Heron Robe will let you evade the rest of the monsters in the castle. So if you're able to get through that, that's usually the meta. It kind of hurts a little bit. It kind of stings a little bit if you're a runner and you can't really do it. You've got to go clear some more of the overworld and then come back. So yeah, the Goober in very good shape there.
So we are going to see the Sand Ruby check on Lord Goober's side, and this is something that you did point out. Having that early Sand Ruby makes it so that it's a good way to check which character that is, and we do see that this is a Kain.
Kain, another favorite in Omnidextrous. A lot easier to back row him. Has a nice balance of strength and agility. Kain is definitely is kind of the quintessential primary DPS in this flag set if you find him.
Yeah, Kain I quite like a lot, and I don't usually say there's a lot with Kain without Omnidextrous, but with Omnidextrous, there's a lot of good choices for your attacker. Kain, Cecil obviously is one of the big example. Edge is another good example, and then Sid, as you pointed out too. That's have the high strength early on and the high HP early on too is a good thing.
Yeah, Omnidextrous kind of changes the game in terms of the traditional party building consensus. So, previously Kane's like, okay, if one of my favorite terms for Kane is Possum's patently average, which is definitely true in normal circumstances, but in this flag set, Kane can wield a crystal sword, and crystal swords fix a lot of woes. So, Kane having access to all of the holy swords as well as Cecil, it kind of changes the calculus a lot. Kane does not need to go up Mount Ordeals to get to his in-game power level and HP pool.
So with this increase in power from Lord Goober, we're gonna see the Antlion play come out from him.
Yeah, Goober's going to have an easier time getting through this Mom Bomb fight. Might be able... Let's see. Yeah, we have Burst. So Goober's going to be able to get through Mom Bomb's hit points before the explosion. We saw earlier Soapbox Gamer had to go through the explosion and take out the bombs, which added a significant amount of time. Goober's going to, it looks like, get through the rest of this HP pool, and we're not going to see the explode.
Yeah, the 7,000 HP just goes by ridiculously fast for Lord Goober because we did get Berserk early on. So, Lord Goober does pick up the Blizzard Staff. I will be honest, having the Blizzard Staff isn't necessarily a bad thing if you're hurting for damage, but it's like everything else I'm going to say. There's a lot better options in Omnidextrous.
Well, the Blizzard Spear is walked out here for its ice elemental attack. So you so again. Omni's pretty much going to not really trivialize the seed, but it definitely lowers the ceiling as far as seed difficulty. So your races tend to be won and lost by how fast you execute on fights, and so that ends up increasing the value of elemental weakness gear, even though it might not be the strongest attack power. It will definitely burn through a Rubicante in a high HP spot a lot quicker than just attack power gear.
Right.
And that was why elemental weaknesses were such a big discussion point when the flag set came out, and the I think Possum put the chart up. Is it's going to play a lot more of a role in winning or losing races.
Something of which I never considered when I was doing the first half of the Asyncs.
Yeah, and there was an interesting shift in dynamic, in my opinion, between 1 to 4 and 5 to 8, where 1 to 4, a lot of runners were kind of finding their footing with the flag set, figuring out what they liked, and that kind of thing, and just kind of getting used to the flag set. 5 through 8, we've had the meta's kind of had time to develop. There had been about a week and a half of discussions by the time Async 7 rolled around. So at this point now, you're thinking less and less. Okay, yeah, I know what I'm going to do to start with. I know where I'm going to go find my loot. I know my overworld checks and what I'm going to do if I find the hook win. And a lot of these races now kind of come down to, okay, do I have something to optimize this otherwise slow fight? Am I picking the right check in the mid to end game? So it's been an interesting evolution to watch runners in Asyncs 1 and 2 versus the one you're seeing now.
So Goober does finish up the Baron in fights. Does receive a Heron robe, so that's another equipment to give to one of our attackers. But more importantly, we do get Sit. So we have another attacker in play here.
Yep, having two solid berserkers before you get to Zeromus is kind of where you want to be. I find up until you get to where you're doing moon checks, most of your fights are going to be centered around probably one berserker, one support. But you do want your potential second option kind of getting XP as you go along here.
So over on the top runners on the screen, we do see Palom as our next character. So we're sitting on 5 characters of 7, and Palom isn't a bad option. We do have twin cast if we're kind of in a pinch, but of course Palom will take time to develop into the Quake kit that we all come to know.
So we saw Arian kind of equipping Palom with some wisdom gear as well as maybe a little bit of defensive stuff so he doesn't get one shot and takes a nap during XP. Palom is pretty critical for being able to get through trap chest once we get underground. So we're talking like sylph traps, warriors, hair dryers. Again, where races are coming down to efficient execution of fights, we call it AOE or a sweeper. Palom or Fursolia are pretty high value targets for your party in this flag set, just to get you through the few trap chests that have multiple enemies.
Correct. And it looked like Arian tried to do a life glitch on one of the Bat Ogres, but it didn't go down, so got to try again with this one. Does manage to get it, so pointing out the life glitch to gain more XP because the vitality of monsters is set to 0, and when you do life, it will try to revive and it still will die, so you get double XP for that.
So it looks like despite a little bit of divergence early on, all 4 of our runners have converged on the hook route at about the same time. That's kind of part of that meta that I've talked about. Seeds have developed to where if you're starting to approach the 18 to 20 minute mark, like we're at right now, that's when a lot of runners are getting. That's when they're getting to the hook route and getting through the hook route. So if you're over 20 and you're still over the overworld, you got to start thinking like, okay, either I'm either having a hard time finding my hook, or hey, I need to kind of get going underground here.
I won't say no to a Poison Axe if there's not a Rune Axe available.
Yeah, Poison Axe, again, one of those items that increases in value with Omnidextrous because you can wield it in one hand.
Yeah, having the ability to have double hand weapons as a single hand weapon is very, very good in Omnidextrous. Just being able to have a powerful weapon like a Poison Axe equipped with another decent weapon, you have the ability to poison someone, but also do more damage that way.
All right, Arian shows us Odin at the KQ spot. Normally, that is a very difficult spot here, but Arian's Rosa has a good amount of defensive gear on, only taking about 60 points of damage per swing from Odin.
Yeah, and so that was a an easy fight to take care of. We do have either a Baron Guard or a Kaipo Guard on this spot. It is Baron Guards.
Okay, so this was a spot that tripped me up here. You want to be very careful with this. Quad 9 is not going to take out a guard. So Ariane doing the smart thing, getting mute up. I failed to do this, and I had my Rune Axe wielder swing before mute goes off, and yeah, that really caused an issue because then my DPS also got sized. So yeah, good smart play by Ariane here to get the mute and get kind of get your defensive strategy set up before activating your Berserker.
Otherwise, this isn't a bad fight. It's just because the HP is split across the two guards, and for good measure, we do get a life glitch out because the boss bit is not set on Kaipo guards. Baron guards.
Yeah, well executed here by Ariane. He's gonna get a 2130 pitfall here.
Yeah, this is a good start for Ariane having this early on pitfall to get underground here.
Yep, Force Hook being on, you got to go this way, and of course that makes the Magma Key objective a nice fun little meme because you get to drop down the well and just say, well, that's gone.
We did also see from Ariane that the other blue robe guard is sitting at the top of Lower Babel, so that's another good fight, easy fight to take care of.
Yeah, the free fights are a little bit they're not quite as trivial as they are on other flag sets. I found when I take on especially Baron or Kaipo guards, not as bad, but especially Baron guards, I really miss my hourglasses.
Yeah, having hourglasses being left up to chance by, at least from me, leaving up to chance to the random kit, you kind of are. If you don't get your hourglasses, you're kind of like, I don't want to get stopped here, but I have to. I have to do a single target.
Oh yeah, Nerakad's Sid. This is exactly what happened to my Sid in the same spot. Doesn't matter if you're hitting for quad 9s. If you don't meet those guards first, they're gonna get at least a size cast off. So looks like Rosa also equipped, so not gonna be. Well, oh, that's unfortunate. Rosa not having the defensive gear to survive the punches.
Yeah, so Nerakad's gonna have to retry this fight.
Ariane and Soapbox already heading up the lower side of the tower. Pretty well equipped for it. Don't have to worry about the elemental weakness for the alert here because Spoon covers up a lot of lack of elemental damage.
Right, and this is something that I do have seen commonly, is that if you're well equipped, you just go for lower. You just go up Lower Babel, right as soon as you go underground. You're right there. You might as well walk up and do it.
Yeah, the K trap really dilutes the value of the tower key a little bit. Plus the keyless tower boss being, or the vanilla tower key boss being an objective really, unless you are still really looking for a way to one-shot the alerts, generally folks will just go straight up the tower. Also, if you happen to hit the tower key and then you can still destroy the super cannon, you'll get your airship switch done for you. You don't have to worry about manually swapping to the Enterprise once you're back on top.
Right. So this is one of the big examples. If in this flag set alone, Honestly, it's best just to go for Keyless Tower because you have that objective available.
Yep, the old adage "do your objectives" is going to hold true almost regardless of flag set.
So we have the officer soldier fights starting up here over on Arian's side. This is, I'm going to say it again. This is a pretty simple fight because this is Kaiba guards. We know how this works. Either you take out the officer and have the soldiers hit themselves like crazy, or take out the soldiers and then have the officer retreat.
Yeah, and retreat's really the way to go here in this flag set, just because you're gonna have so many more opportunities for XP throughout the rest of the seed. You're not going to be hurting by the XP loss of retreat, and also that's a hard required objective because the top of the tower was our Earth Crystal.
Yes. So yeah, you gotta do, as the old adage goes, do your objectives, and who knows, maybe you'll find an Earth Crystal here.
Yep, one objective leads to the other. So so this leads to a more interesting decision point because now as you go back down the tower, okay, yeah, you can prime Sheila 1. We don't have a pan yet, but we do have an Earth Crystal in hand. We're pretty okay on party, so the characters aren't really drawing me to Zot, but we also haven't found the Football Gauntlet either. So the choice starts to become: do I have checks on the overworld I want to go back to? We have Palom Quake. We have the ability to get a RA1 Quake and pretty easily take care of Trap Chests. Do we do those? That's really, this right here is where kind of a lot of races are, a lot of where race times are influenced, and where the 1v1s that we're going to get into with the bracket round are going to be decided. You have a pretty big decision point once you're done with the tower here. You also have a pretty big decision point once you find the Darkness Crystal.
Correct. And so Arian is going to head into Self Cave. This makes sense. We are going to prime Sheila 1 here. Over on Narrowcat's side, we are seeing the first boss of 2 in Dwarf Castle, and that is a Mylon. Specifically Mylon Z, or Z, whichever you prefer.
Yeah, Dwarf is not it's not a typical favorite, but there's been a few seeds where runners have kind of turned that to their advantage, and found a required objective item in Dwarf, and that's kind of made them pull ahead. Arian's deciding on the Sylph Trap Chest. I don't hate it. We kind of zonked on the tower traps a little bit, so this kind of, it's almost like a mid-game mini grind here. You're capable of taking them out, and you can also improve your equipment a lot in Sylph traps as well. A lot of crystal swords and X-Cals and Avengers are found in this spot here.
Yeah, this isn't a bad play by any means. I honestly think this actually isn't terrible at all, because the basement of Self Cave, as you mentioned, it opened up the potential for the big weapons to pop up. Since we are at max tier 5, we have the opportunity to either get like tier 6 through 8 off the trap chest.
Cooper following right behind Arian. Narracat, thank you for your clarification in chat. So yeah, I would definitely, I could definitely see that play. I've gone to Dwarf myself looking to kind of shore up party issues, and yeah, if you don't have Quake on the kid and you need that sweeper spell, definitely Dwarf is where you go for a pretty easy XP infusion as well. So yeah, thanks for the clarification.
Bringing back to Arian's side, we did see the Legend Sword pop up on the third trap chest. And hey, there's your crystal sword, like we mentioned.
Crystal sword. All right, so we saw Arian. I'm gonna point this out. And I've trying to make sure this is not really trying to overly coach here, but I do want to point out the 2 Maul Ball chests and the 2 Centipede chests aren't really subject to the same. Without trying to overly explain how this works, they're not subject to the same pointer issues and ATB issues as the formations with 4 or more. So you're going to have the Centipedes get attacks off. So Arian kind of buffered against that by just having Rosa cure the party, and it's not a problem. But if you go into that Centipede fight with 1 HP and you use Quake, you might run into an issue. So the Centipedes have pretty low HP. Kill them with Virus and you're good. Double Maul Ball on Arian's side should not really be an issue here either. Palom's got Palom should have a Rune Ring on, so if you're able to prevent one of the status effects from Maul Ball, you'll prevent the whole breath. So Palom's Rune Ring kind of mitigates any issues with double Maul Ball here. And there's the Darkness Crystal.
Yeah, so we ended up getting two required key items. We end up getting Crystal Sword and one thing I was also going to point out, Defense Sword. Arian put that on Kane. So very high value Sylph Cave basement.
Yep, Sylph basement to play here for sure. And Soapbox and Narracad going after Toad Lady chest. I kind of like doing this. I'll kind of hold Sylph traps a little bit towards the end of at least the end of my pre-moon stuff, and just go Tiny Toad Yong's room. So this is definitely a good route here from them also.
Yeah, I was actually going to point at that too, because Arian was heading towards the Toad Lady as well. But this will be a lot quicker for Arian because Quake Kid is a thing that exists. That nice Bahamut summon. We're probably going to be summoning that.
Usually at this point in the seed, it's inventory boss power.
Yeah. So Arian has primed up Sheila 1 and is going to head down towards Fey March to get the Warrior chest and the single Fey March chest as part of the K-Main set.
Don't forget a third very crucial activity that you can do in the Fey March.
Check the bosses in the summon bosses in case you do find Football Gauntlet.
Yes. I don't remember which an async it was, but there was definitely one with a Football Gauntlet in Fey March, and I did not check it. I literally cleared the rest of the game except that before I figured that out.
I believe I know what you're referring to. I did the same thing. It was I think it was in the earlier it was the first half of asyncs. So Warrior chest only gives out a full moon. I mean, if we're honestly looking for a back row, then sure, but we're not really needing that.
Alright, Arian remembering the boss check. It's a King, Queen, Eblin, and Magus Sisters, so that's not it.
If you are somehow desperate for XP, then sure, you could do King, Queen, Eblin, but we're not really needing that.
We just did Sylph traps. We're good to go.
Yeah, if you somehow not done Sylph traps yet, and if you're looking for XP, then sure.
Yep. All right, so let's see. Arian's kind of thinking for routing here. We've got Pass, we've got Darkness Crystal, but we've also got an Earth Crystal sitting there too. So I think we haven't looked at Ordeals yet either on Arian's side. So kind of depends on your normal school of thought. Are you a clear as much of the Earth as you can before going to the moon, or are you go to the moon ASAP? What are you thinking here, Professor?
If given the opportunity, I will go up the moon. There's in this flag set alone, there are a total of 15 checks on the moon. You have the trap chests, and you also have the moon chests.
Gotcha. I tend to go. I'm very cautious about fading too many things. I will probably fade Dwarf and maybe one of Zot or Baron for the moon, but any more than that, and I start getting too nervous that I'm just missing something easy. So I'll tend to kind of whittle the checks down a little bit, and sometimes even go full Earth clear strats.
So Sheila 1 check. It is a ninja sword, so not particularly all that good. So Bucks Gamer did see what the Feymarch bosses were and chose to bail out of that. Understandably, because we did do Sylph.
Aaron is saying, chat, normally clear the blue planet fully, but with your rough start, you need a moon to have the goods. Calling that a rough start to me is debatable. You're definitely ahead as far as I can see on our screen right now. But yeah, I can definitely. Yeah, this one's kind of those 50-50, right? You really only have Zot and Ordeals, I think. Maybe Dwarf, depending on what you did underground. Nobody really likes to do Dwarf, with the exception of with a couple of exceptions.
So Soapbox Gamer is going to go ahead and do the objective of opening up the treasury, just to get it out of the way.
Yeah, and sometimes you go down here at this point if you maybe want, if there's a couple other pieces of gear that you want. So it depends on your situation.
Although this is max tier 5 treasury, so you're kind of looking at just some okay items. You're only looking for like a handful of decent stuff that's in max tier or in tier 5. So, after doing the treasury opening, Soapbox is going to go head for Zot. This potentially is looking for a key item or characters. I'm more inclined to say key items.
Yeah, well, so here Soapbox hasn't done the Flame Dog yet, so this is kind of lumping all of the Tower of Zot into one run.
Yeah, and that's fine. Soapbox will find out about the Artemis bow. Not useful, but we're going to clear out Zot all in one go. You might as well check the Flame Dog.
Yeah, and we haven't seen that gauntlet yet, so that's another 2 boss checks. So Zot, kind of a popular play. If you're playing for Porm to be the anchor, you no longer have to kind of keep bringing Porm back up when you want to exit. There's a lot of little benefits there.
Yeah, the ability to have Rosa cast exit is one significant thing. Just because, hey, we don't have to worry about Porm being our only exit caster.
Yeah, and if your seed does not have a Porm, it becomes extra critical. especially before you go to the moon.
Yeah, and if Fusoya has not shown up early on one of the restricted, on one of the on the spots where restricted characters can show up. So we see Soapbox fighting out an evil wall, which does go down. Not necessarily that difficult, given that we already are fairly powered up here.
Yes, Soap's party's still looking a little light. Hasn't found the other two melee fighters that our other runners have.
We do spot a Yang. Yang in this flag set isn't really good because Yang's special calculations are still in play in this flag set. So if you really wanted to get Yang up to a decent thing, sure, but I still wouldn't really use Yang in this flag set. I found that out the hard way. I thought I could do something with Yang, but I was like, oh, wait a minute. He still has calculations. I can't use him.
Yeah, I think I took and leveled Yang on 1 seed, and I think it was because I was hurting for party members with an HP pool. So I think that was the only reason. It's like, okay, that's my Z chemist, I guess.
So Arian has turned in the rat tail, which was discovered in the self basement that we saw a long time, a fairly decent amount ago, and Narcat's bot finishing up. That does lead to a tower key.
Yep, Soapbox able to one-shot that Ruby with an ice weapon. Pretty good idea to do that in that spot. Zot2's magic power is pretty hefty.
So that does finish up Tower of Zot for Soapbox Gamer. Rosa will have exits coming out of this, and we'll see what this yields for Soapbox Gamer.
Yep, Arian heading up Zot as well.
Okay.
Yeah, and chat Arian's also said main reason for doing Zot was seeing Boss 2 for Dwarf. Very heads up there. That's the first time that I've seen that and thought of that. So learn something new every day with flag sets or this routing on this flag set.
Okay. So Tower of Zot yielded the Twin Harp. So this has value in it. When do you go up to Zot if you're Goober and Narrowcat?
Yeah, and both of them are about 45 minutes going up the tower. Yeah, they don't have the Earth Crystal yet. They're gonna find it, Sheep. They also, well, no, both of them do have the Darkness Crystal.
Yeah, they're gonna find it here, but after they get it, when do you go up?
Well, again, that depends on how you play the meta overall. If you're an Earth Clear, you're gonna go before launching the whale.
Yeah, that is interesting because in this situation, if you're one to follow chains, you would do it immediately. In this scenario where Lord Goober and Narrowcat had gotten through Sylph before heading up the tower, or Lower Babel specifically, then you have a bit of a choice, because if you have the high value play or the density in the moon, but at the same time, if you're one to stick to the camp of clear out the blue planet as much as possible, or just complete everything on the blue planet, then go to the moon, then you'll find the harp earlier on before heading to the moon. You'll have an objective done before the moon, before heading up the moon.
Correct. And I think we see a lot of runners kind of think like I have, where okay, you don't really want to fade more than 3 or 4, especially if they're K main checks, because and normally you'd think, oh, it's like you said, it's 15 checks. With the way that with the algorithm that we use to populate trap chests with key items, it doesn't really. So I know in, I want to say Potion Party had K trap on. In Potion Party, I kind of started out really heavily favoring Sylph Cave that way before I kind of heard about it and read up on it a little bit of, yeah, there may be 7 trap chests in Sylph Cave, but they don't really all have an equal chance. The way the algorithm works, once the first key item may be placed, it's a lot less likely to have another one. It's not really an equal chance among all of the K main and K trap. The algorithm will kind of skew a little bit towards the K main, so that's why you see a lot of runners kind of do the earth clearing. Some of the slower checks, like Zot and Dwarf, are very popular fades and ordeals as well, just because they're a little slower than the other K main checks. But in this case here, we're seeing our runners clear a lot, pretty much clear all of them before heading up.
We'll figure that out in due time. In the meantime, Soapbox Gamer is about to start the Dark Elf fight, so we'll have we have some music from our resident DJ Spoonie B. So enjoy some tunes from the harp, as it is required, because memes. Enjoy. So this is Game of Thrones, I'm hearing?
Yep, and we'll have a back-to-back reprisal from Ariane.
I never got a chance to watch Game of Thrones when it was still on air.
Definitely still available if that sort of thing suits you. But we took out a Wyvern for a Stardust Rod and an objective.
Really, you're here for the objective. The Stardust Rod is generally not a bad find if it's not Omnidextrous. But with this is again the whole thing I'm saying is there are a lot more better options available, and even at this point in the game, you already have a pretty good team going. You have good berserkers, you have good support. At this time, really having a Stardust Rod pop up is like, okay. Yeah, I mean, sure, Stardust Rod is still good. I just saying it because I never used the Stardust Rod in my acings. I wish I did though.
Yep, nice to make your black mages nuke numbers go up a little bit. Arian heading up ordeals. This is kind of. This is generally when I like to go up ordeals also. You can basically one-shot the bosses. You don't even really need to use the save point at the top. You just save at the bottom. And you're basically taking a very quick peek at the key item and the 3 bosses and calling it good. But yeah, we haven't found the football gauntlet yet. This is a good play in my opinion. I can't really, in good conscience, go to the moon until I see those 3 bosses if I've not found the gauntlet yet. And imagine the disappointment. Blue robe, you blink that you see that blue robe, and oh, it's just a water hag.
And it is on a particularly especially in Omnidextrous, a particularly slow fight. You have to hit. I mean, you're forced to hit the water hag 3 times, and you can't speed it up.
And you have the crumble animation at the end.
And the crumble animation because this is a fiend. This is on a fiend spot.
Meanwhile, Soapbox Gamer going through Sylph Traps, about to find that Darkness Crystal. Nerikad finding Kang, dismissing Yang, and so now Nerikad has caught up with melee party members. Yep, and Ordeals ends up being a reset. And unfortunately, Arian is not going to the moon yet. So now we have a tower key, and we're checking Dwarf. This might be... Does Arian peak boss 1 and reset? Because he's seen boss 2 from... Yeah, taking a chance and fading that key item, doing the reset. Taking a chance and still fading that key item. I don't hate that. That's a slow cutscene.
It is very slow, even if we are kind of getting I think we're at 10, are we? Or no?
Yep, my old eye's having a hard time seeing on the 4 layout. 6, 7, 8, 9. No, I think Arian's at 9 still at this point.
Okay, I'm only just seeing it. Just we're not really desperate for XP. I'm just kind of thinking about it.
I don't think, especially if you do the sylph traps and you end up going to the moon and doing a few checks, you're not really gonna hit a point where you've kind of hurt yourself by kind of trying to gain 10 key items versus not. Maybe if you're thinking of it from a numbers and odds perspective, maybe. But I haven't seen like, oh, I'm not gonna do this check I want to do because I don't have 10 key items yet. Just there's again with K trap and especially the moon traps on, there's far too many sources of experience for that kind of thing to really matter. And if you somehow end up in a situation where things are jetty, and you're not making as many checks, you do have the Behemoths and Cape Bahamut that runners have often used for experience, just because you can take them on the way down to the objective fight. Yeah, Sheep. Giant. I like Giant here a lot because if you're just checking, you can check last arm. You can check the element spot. And if they don't pay out, you just reset and you're back where you launched the whale, and you're just ready to go straight to the moon. I like this. I like this play a lot before going all the way up.
Yeah, I found that out pretty early. I found that sorry, let me try again. I found that out a lot when during my last of the first half. I think I was on Async 4. That I realized, oh wait, I could just go to last arm first, then do the moon, just so that I can clear that out. Power shot ain't bad.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things where I hate to reset out of it, but I have to.
Yeah, it sucks as the reset out of it, but it would have been nice.
Yeah, and Arian is yep, orbs in the element spot. Oh no. That is a slog and a half.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah. It's and besides, do you really want to like go through CPU and just find out like on element spot to see what the other boss is? No, you don't.
Yeah, even if that's the gauntlet on the other side, the time spent going through CPU when you can find, it's very likely we're going to find the other 2 key items somewhere here on the moon. Yeah, I think I'd just rather go do the moon checks because I can do them faster.
Yeah, you're better off just going at that point going for a Legend Sword Forge finish instead of a just finding the football gauntlet. Now, that doesn't mean that you could still find football gauntlets on the moon. There's very much you can still find on the moon. Absolutely. I'm just saying if it's not on the moon, then you're better off just going for a forge finish as opposed to a football finish.
Yep. And meanwhile, Soapbox just destroyed the super cannon, chasing that tower key. And yeah, I have to say I could not leave the super cannon before going to the moon. Also, when I did this, I had to chase the tower key, especially because it came from that rat tail.
Yeah, you might as well finish up the chain that you found in Self Basement.
Yeah, and it's really the I don't know, the fun yet simultaneously frustrating thing about this flag set is the different options. It's rare when an option is really just wrong or just really suboptimal. It's kind of, okay, what do you prefer to go for? And it's rando. Sometimes you hit, sometimes you don't. like I said, I like what Arian's doing right now. I like that Soapbox went to check the tower key. Get a power shirt for it. That's pretty nice. It's not a key item, but I like a power shirt.
Shout out to the Vanilla Bahamut, by the way.
Yep. Is this even?
Is. That's it. Just the word is.
Just is.
Goober's gonna go ahead and do the do ordeals. We'll find out that there is a blue rope, but it's not the one that we need.
Right. And Bahamut went off on Arian's side. Thankfully, he got a shield up. He's got about 3 shields up from the looks of it.
Hey, more damage is better. Is good damage.
Yep. I like it. Get the Sid back up. We're not really worried about the Palom experience at this point. It's your melees that you need to survive the potential unnerfed Big Bang. At this point in the seed, your Palom's work is generally considered done.
Yeah, another crystal sword.
Yeah, this seed was very, very generous with the power, especially mid to late game.
It's yet another attacker in a sense. You do have like a hybrid character in the form of Rosa.
Yeah, if you get the gear to where you have 3 characters, maybe 2 of them wielding strength boosting gear, and the third kind of just wielding about 220, 230 attack power worth of weapons, that's pretty much guaranteed if you Zerk those 3 that you're not seeing a second Big Bang. So you can kind of just make your plays. Don't worry about keeping all your party members alive. Just quickly get through the moon fights, find your key items, and yeah, Z should be fine once you get to him.
All right, so Arian's gonna go ahead and start working on this lunar subterrane. Does
Sheep,
find Yang. Go ahead.
Yep, yeah, Yang on the lunar dice, unfortunately. Sheep, I will say, just from what we're seeing at this point, if Gauntlet is behind package, I sincerely doubt we're gonna see it. Because we've got Moon to check. We don't really have a lot of key item spots left on the Earth. You never know. You never know. We could see who's behind the package.
That would be funny.
It would be hilarious.
But we've got tons of checks to do. We have 14 whole checks that we have to do in this lunar subterrane.
All right. So another fun kind of decision point that folks are still really trying to sort through this. At least I know I am. What's your order of operations here on the moon? Arian, checking out the red giant chest first.
Yeah, that's what I do. Just start with the red giants.
Okay.
Once you start LSD.
I like mirror altar, then do the chests on the way back.
I just go completely from top to bottom, even though I'm not really familiar with. I'm still trying to piece together the remaining the 9 trap chests that are in it, like where they are, because there's a lot of chests in the lunar subterrane. Let's be real here.
Yep.
I can't keep track of all of them.
Okay, Goober, I'm reading your message here in chat. You have 2 key items with Soul Gauntlet left. You have a pass in pocket. Better choice to go and do the moon and then come back for Harp. True. I will respond with another question. So we know it's not. because it's Stardust Rod. But what if the harp was an objective key item? Now your moon calculus is a lot different, right? I don't hate the logic, because harp is like right there at your Z spot, right? So definitely don't hate it. Just something else to think. Yep, something else to think about. Gauntlet of Harp. Yes, correct, Lemurian Knight. Yep, absolutely. All right.
For now,
excuse me. Go ahead.
Oh no, okay. I was gonna say that Arian is working on the Warlock and Carry chess, and then I'll finish what you were gonna say. Soapbox is heading for Bahamut.
Yep. Yeah, we got Soapbox heading for Bahamut. Goober on hair dryers. Cat sleeping in the whale. So we are fully in the moon phase of the game here.
Yeah, we do see a Masamune. It's not that it would be nice if this was Omnidextrous, but it's with Omnidextrous, it just devalues it. That's something I found out with during the community races, the community race before the tournament even started.
Yeah, I think I was able to pocket and use a Murasame one time when I was hurting for agility anchoring gear. Murasame does have the -5 agility on it. That was about it.
Right. So we did see for a split second Arian finishing up or doing the element fights.
Great heads up play on knowing where the elements and well, not really even the elements, but using the gear to his advantage. I think there was a holy sword to hit the earth phase, hit the Mylon phase, which that's one weakness. Then taking advantage of the mage racial weakness of the Rubicante phase in the elements fight, which is unique to the elements fight. Rubicante himself, in his solo form, is not weak to mage smashing gear.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it's elements. Elements is an interesting one. Also, fun little fact: the Mylon form of elements is not initially weak to fire the instant you're in the fight. I have seen people miss the window for that weak spot and not get the extra damage. You have to wait. You have to wait for his first turn. That's the little pause you see. So usually, if it's wait a couple seconds and then fight, you're usually okay.
Right. So Arian is working on the behemoth fight, which is one of 3 behemoths. That's a magma key that we can drop into the well.
That is a magma key indeed. All right, so let's see what happens. Does Arian keep going? I'd say so, given magma's a terminal key item here.
I mean, you have to.
Oh yeah,
honestly.
Absolutely. So Arian's taking the strategy of checking the traps as we see Bimmy and Jimmy on the way down. I've largely been a go down, do all the altars, and then traps from the bottom up. Which thus far is not looking to be the play, and Arian's way seems superior here so far.
So this is now dependent on since we are looking at one away from potentially go mode, or one away from go mode. Either you find the adamant rock, or you find the bull gauntlet. That's why I think you still. That's why I'm thinking you keep going down, because who knows? Maybe you find you find your adamant rock. You could also find your Avenger sword on Bimmy and Jimmy.
Yeah, Avenger sword, a fantastic pickup.
This one chest that Arian's about to go to, I missed that because I never realized that that was a trap chest, and you can go down there.
Yep, I don't know. I'm still kind of figuring out, that optimal route too, and just making sure I remember where everything is. Soapbox noping out of the orbs at Giant also. Look at that though. Left the save right in front of the LST. Nice heads up play by Soapbox Gamer.
Yeah, trap chest I skipped most of the time because I'm used to just going up instead of down.
Yep.
Excalibur is okay, but we already have a lot of crystal swords, so it is a good weapon, yes, but it gets outdone by the crystal swords and all the other powers that we have so far.
Yeah, well, seeds tend to have no holy swords or all the holy swords. There's never a middle ground. in my experience.
And this isn't just Omnidextrous by itself. This is just every seed in any flag set. Like, think of any flag set you can come up with. It's either you find a holy sword and tons of them, but no Cecil, or you find all the swords, or you find all the sword, or you find Cecil and none of the swords. But we do see Adamant Rock come out for area, and that is go mode for him.
So, Magma Key and Adamant Rock both on LST chest this time. That's a very low odds hit there. So Arian gonna have a very, very good time here.
So we are looking at this is going to be an adamant, a forged finish. And we'll soon see the adamant rock come up for the remaining of the rest of our runners here. And in the case of Snowbox Gamer, both the Magma Key and the adamant rock. Who knows? Maybe you get a pretty good FF Advanced weapon to bolster your already powerful party. I'm not saying that it's going to happen, but hey, a man can dream. That's a Requiem Harp.
Requiem Harp, yeah. So. Not something I used, but
yeah. So not necessarily a good choice. But yeah, we need to do it anyway, so we have it in our inventory.
Yep. All right, so Narrowcat finds a Luca key. So that's interesting. Is there any temptation to chase the Luca key in this instance? So Narrowcat has Magma. Doesn't have Adamant Rock yet. Looks like he's about to from opening that chest, but Oh no! If you find the Luca key, is there any temptation on your part to go chase that?
No, I'm still digging. I'm still digging LST. If the anime block was not here, what Derek had does find out, I would have gone for it, but because there's not really a lot left in the game, you'd have to go down. I think you'd have to go for it. Sure, it's long and like painfully long, but you have to do it if it's not there. And potentially you might find you could probably find football gauntlets at the evil wall, but who am I to theory craft? We have Z flags out. What does that mean?
Well, despite our flag set kind of memeing a lot of things up, one of the old memes has not changed, and that's the fact that we randomize Zeromus's sprite rather than his location. So, while we've kind of made things a little wacky and mixed things up with the Omnidextrous Memers Guild, we still ask the same question at the end, and that question is,
whose butt are we gonna kick tonight? And all the other questions, like, does it have a hat? Does it even have a butt? Can it help me with my 401k? Is the terrain complete? Whatever. All the infinite amount of possibilities for questions. Or is the butt Dio? That's a good one there, Arcane. Good one.
All right, so Arian in the Z fight, Narek had forging, and Soapbox and Lord Goober in the still in the LST trap chest. So looks like none of our runners are going altars first. So but definitely some of the times that came in this async also were altar checks.
That is a vanilla Zeromus.
That is Vanillamus. So we had a vanilla Bahamut, and now we're having a vanilla flavored Zeromus.
I'm usually the one who likes mint chocolate chip ice cream. I will always stand by mint chocolate chip ice cream as my favorite. Anyway, we have this will be get the Zerkers up, have everyone's attack, nerf a Big Bang, and the rest is just after that really just patrol her down.
Yep. As I mentioned before, we've got enough gear to power up 3 Berserkers, so just kind of do that and get it set up. We now have Lord Goober in go mode. Soapbox Gamer, we're seeing still has to. Let's see. No, Soapbox is kill Bahamut. Or no, sorry, excuse me. That's a behemoth in the chest. Soapbox is still looking for Adamant Rock.
Which Soapbox Gamer will come up on soon.
Nerka taking time to set things up, looking at either Crystal Venger Kane or maybe Spoon Venger Sid. You can come up with some pretty fun Berserker setups with these Z fights.
Yeah, with Omnidextrous having a wide variety of options, it's the potential for many options, like many setups is immense. And it looks like Arian has decided to put the controller down. We're all set.
Yep. So looking at the four, looking at how the four runners seem to be playing out. Eventually, we know Soapbox is checking all the LST chests. Eventually, he's going to find the adamant rock. So if I'm looking back at this, and I'm thinking, okay, well, pretty similar moon paths. What did the race really come down to? And I think a lot of it, especially given that they were in Upper Babel around the same time, between these four, this race seems to have come down to kind of where they were in the mid game. Arian and Goober both kind of had pretty high power level parties. The party was largely fleshed out before going underground. As we see, Zeromus is down on Arian's side already. About 120, 55-ish. Oh no, and I think we're syncing the times up 122.33. So GG again to Arian. Great time on that run. That's a good one. But getting back to kind of the compare and contrast across all four runners. So if I'm contrasting Soapbox and Narrowcat, they had to do a little bit of party work after getting underground. So that meant kind of maybe doing Dwarf, maybe getting extra XP for Palom, having to work a little more to get their melee characters set up when they attain them later, like in Zot or in other spots. So, yeah, it's just again, it's very similar routes, but the race that we're seeing on screen just has come down to just the early overworld efficiency and just kind of having that route set. Getting characters late can hurt. Key item or even a weapon being in a different place could make a difference. But yeah, good runs across the board. So we have Soapbox forging now, Narrowcat and Z, Goober setting up.
Yeah, before long we are going to have we're gonna have everyone finished up. So Lord Goober is the only one who has yet to do the harp. So this is a little bit longer compared to the finishes that we've seen from both from all the other runners. But it's also not a bad choice to go for it if you've already done those objectives on account of you already have it. You're already, once you're done with the Dark Elf, all you have to do is just run back down to Troya, turn the pass.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was thinking. Like, yeah, you're right there. And yeah, you can get burned by a key item or a gauntlet at that harp spot. But yeah, it is a line of play.
So Bucks Gamer now has his crystal. And Lord Goober is about to start up his Twin Harp fights. This will be his last objective, as I mentioned.
Yep. So maybe we get one more reprise of Contest of Chairs? No music. Oh, no music focusing on Zeromus. Thank you, Alchemy, for clarifying in chat for us.
Oh, and GG's and Narrowcat.
GG Narrowcat. Vanillamus is gone. I don't know about you, but if I get a plate of vanilla ice cream put in front of me, it goes away pretty quickly.
I'm the same, but with mint chocolate chip ice cream, as I mentioned before. If you give me a bunch of mint chocolate chip ice cream, like a whole carton of mint chocolate chip ice cream, I will eat it. and I will eat it all. I'm not making this up.
So let's think back to the some of the party some of the different party comps that our runners took underground. The DKC at Baron kind of played a little bit into that, especially on Soapbox Gamer's side. Soapbox had just Rosa Porum Palom in the underground at one point. So, and you remember the Sid was behind the DKC at Baron 1. So, yeah, if you, depending on when you take, depending on when you check Baron in, you may or may not have gotten a Sid. So just, it's amazing how just seemingly minuscule decisions really impact how a seed will play out in the mid to late game.
Oh, definitely. This is the beauty of this flag set. This flag set, it makes you experiment with a lot of different possibilities. There are a million ways to set up this seed, to set up any seed, and come up with any situations to get through the game, get through the fights as fast as possible. Okay, so Soapbox Gamer is now in Zero Miss.
Yep, counter nuke on Kane, but Kane has over 3k XP or 3k HP, so no big deal there.
The Sid has 4,000 HP. Our Rosa is sitting at 2,500.
Yeah, so not really a risky counter nuke target here on Soapbox's side.
I like the use of the Requiem Harp on Palom.
Of course,
because
you gotta, yeah, because memes.
Because why not? Yeah, why not?
So while we're waiting for these to finish up, all right, what was your favorite thing that what was your favorite meme that you did while running any of these asyncs or even any seed on this flag set, really?
Oh, that's a tough question. Possibly checking every chest in every chest in Lunar Subterranean, because I don't know what the trap chests were.
Nice.
Sure, it cost me a lot of time, but I don't know. You got me some slack. I don't know the trap chests for the vanilla spots for the trap chest.
I think the biggest meme thing I've done so far this season is I think I got a twin harp on the moon from a Dr. Luge fight and poison walked all the way from the moon to poison walked from all the way to the twin harp to turn it in and took the poison heal there.
From the first half of the first half of seeds that the first half of the asyncs that I did, I think my favorite meme that from amongst the all four of them was like the constantly seeing Golbez sitting on top of a lower Babel. I'm like, why am I getting Z-Blade for a second? What's going on?
And Z is down on Soapbox Gamer's side. GG.
GG's to Soapbox Gamer.
I think it was Async 7. I had a missed opportunity where I could have bought a Soma drop to give Kane MP. But I did that one in EEL. I did give Kane MP on restream during EEL, so I've already done that one.
Oh, funny. I think I remember that, actually. I don't know.
I don't know. I hope as we get into to live restreams, we start seeing some more of the memes from some of the top runners. I I know I'll always validate my seed by checking the bookshelf in Kolkol's room. So it's no longer it's no longer Job Dwarf. You peek the shelf in Kolkol's room.
Oh, that's funny. I mean, I'll still stand by my belief that validating your seed is doing Job Dwarf, because hey, I want to know what jobs are.
Yeah, unless you're really looking for hurting for agility manipulation gear, and you're looking for like a dwarf axe or something, the Tommer play is just not there anymore on these flags.
Yeah. Or unless you're extremely memeing and just you're heavily memeing and you just want to do it because you can.
I like the near 7K drains on Lord Goober's screen at this point. And there's rocks.
Yep.
Oh. But Kane is back up.
Because Drain Spear.
And that's it. GG Lord Goober, GG all of our runners.
And GG's to everyone who had participated in the asyncs.
Yeah, it was... Yeah, GG's to everybody that participated in OMG. It was I know me and about a dozen others were watching a few of the last races coming in at noon yesterday, and all kind of waiting with bated breath for the standings. And yeah, it ended up being a very exciting time, especially towards the end.
Yeah, so that should do it.
Yep, that should be it as far as our qualifier season. But don't forget, we have the bracket draft tonight at 8 o'clock. That is just taking place on the voice channels on the Discord, so that will not be on Twitch unless something has changed. But I believe that will be so you can, if you are not one of the drafters, you'll be on mute, but you can hop in and listen in. Also, at some point, yes, thank you, Fiery Blizzard. I just was getting to that. I will be racing one of our esteemed trackers from today's restream. Myself and Dubward47 have a play-in race for the 32nd spot. We are still working out the schedule details of that, but stay tuned for the announcement for that this week. So, yeah, I'm excited.
I wish you good luck.
Also, thank you, Alchemy, for putting the show together for us. I know, I've tried jank streaming 2 VODs in the past, and I don't know how you do 4. That's sheer wizardry. So well done. Thank you, Arian, Lord Goober, Soapbox Gamer, and Narracad for giving us 4 awesome runs to watch. Thank you, Dubward and Sheep Launcher for tracking for us today. And thank you to my co-commentator, Professor Render.
A bit of correction here. That the draft is going to happen at 6 p.m. Eastern time, not 8 p.m. But yeah, 6 p.m. Eastern time will be the draft. It will happen on the voice channels, like you mentioned. But for now, we'll go ahead and send it over to the RPG Valkyries. They're starting their newest speed run, Ragnarok. So have a good rest of your nights or whatever, and stick around if you're in the Discord. Just join if you sign up, or sign up. Join us for the for this draft. Until then, here's the RPG Valkyries.